I want to show you some things I found about Syncthing on the Rock 64. This might be a very, small niche for people who has this problem. But I installed Syncthing via the Armbian config here, and I'll show you. Alright, so under software and media, I installed Syncthing here. So these are now installed. And that runs in a Docker container. So here is the Docker container that runs Syncthing. I want to show you another kind of weird thing. If I'm here now, I'm on the I'm SSH'd, or this is the IP address of the Docker container from my other computer. I don't know how to say this. And if I add a folder here, it'll say that I can use config or I can use tilde as config. And that's just because it actually is set as default to save files inside the Docker container, or not only inside the Docker container, but it's mapped to the Docker container and to a folder called config for some reason. So let me show you where that is on your system. All right, so you would maybe think that, all right, so it's inside my Docker container then, of course, but it is. But I'll show you. All right, so here inside config, here are all my files and folders and stuff. And I made, I couldn't find it, so I made all kinds of files or folders in here. Sync and sync1 and sync with the big S and stuff like that. Alright, but it's also mapped somewhere. Let me show you that. So this command will show where the mount points are. Oops. And as you can see, it's they're mapped to data1, data2, and to config in the Armbian Syncthing folder. So we gotta find that in Armbian Syncthing, and here they are. So now I could go into the config folder, and here are the same files and folders. And you could also use the data1 and data2 folders. But I had to change the ownership, because these were owned by root. And I think I only changed the data1 folder, so maybe you can see here. Yeah, it's still owned by root, but the other one is owned by me. And I installed this user when I installed the operating system, and then I used this user to install the Armbian config, or the Syncthing through the Armbian config. So Syncthing is running as, I think at least that the container is running underneath this user. I don't know actually, but anyways, you might have to fool around with this. I had to change the folder ownership. I'll show you. I had to do this, and I only did it to the data1 folder, as you could see just before. But maybe you could just do like this, and it'll do it to all the folders in here. That's probably smarter. But then now, if you go into the user interface, you can add a folder, and you could say data. No, you gotta go Armbian. No, actually, you can go data, because it's mapped to data1. Like this, and then you can make your own folder here. If you add a folder here, it might lock this. Yeah, as you see here, it might give you that it's password protected, and you have to remove that. You would have to remove the password here, or else you get some weird error messages. Also, I don't know if this matters to you. See here, I removed the password. But I also set this one to receive only on the Rock64, and on my phone I set it to send only. That's just some additional info there. Please subscribe to the channel. But of course, then you have to make it a real as well. I mean, if you go my own here, let's spell my own, and then click save here, then you'd also have to run this command: sudo make directory Armbian Syncthing data1 my own folder here. Okay. And just here are kind of the commands that I used in this video. You gotta find your own Docker ID, of course, here. Oops, it's not in visual mode. You gotta find your own ID, which is like this, and then you get your own ID. Alright, thank you very much for watching.